Okay, this question comes from John Doe. I think it's his real name. Sorry for outing you there, John. John Doe says, "Hey Victor, great per channel. Personally, I think you're an expert on living in Japan, visiting Japan, so I thought I'd ask you 5 burning questions. 5 burning questions!" Security guard's gonna come out in the parking lot and like kick me out too. Okay. Number 1, I really want to hike, backpack in northern Japan and Hokkaido in the summertime someday. Is it safe? Is it affordable? Place to stay? Food? I rode my motorcycle from Nagoya to Hokkaido, taking back roads, avoiding the highway. And this is pre-YouTube days, so unfortunately I didn't take any film. I'm sure there's a photo album full of pictures somewhere. And it's a lot of fun. I slept. I brought myself a tent and I slept along the road sometimes. I think I stayed in one hotel along the way. Yeah, somewhere. And it was a lot of fun. But I did camp quite a bit. And once you get to Hokkaido, the roads are like, Hokkaido has the second or the most traffic fatalities because they've got long open roads and people can really fly down the road there. You've also got to be careful when you're on a motorcycle or in a car because sometimes there's a possibility of running out of gas before you get to the next gas station if you're not full. You know, you got to make sure your tank is full all the time. It's the only place in Japan where you can go for miles without seeing anyone. Well, like maybe a couple of miles, maybe not a lot of miles, but you can go. There are stretches where you actually can't see anyone. Just feel it's beautiful there. I've seen deer. I've seen. I think I saw tanuki or fox. I don't remember. A long time ago. But you see tanukis around here anyway. I never saw a bear. I always wanted to see a bear, but anyway, yeah. So Hokkaido's great, and along the roads there are these kind of like motorcycle hostels where you can go, and they have these big rooms where you just like you pay. I don't remember how it was, but it's pretty really cheap. There are people staying there for like weeks at a time, but people will drive up there on the motorcycles and just stay there, and then like pick one of these hostels and then use it as a kind of base, and then take little day trips, day excursions all around, and see the sights, because Hokkaido is a huge country, huge prefecture. Imagine like Alaska in America. That's what it's like. Hokkaido's just huge and nobody's in it, and a lot of hookers too. No, just kidding. Yeah, it's pretty affordable. I think I would say. I can't quote prices, but I would say like I would be surprised if it cost you more than like 2,000 yen a night to stay at one of those places. 20 bucks, you know, for a bed. That's pretty cool, right? Anyway, how much is transportation in Japan? It really depends. Nagoya has the most expensive subways. I think our minimum here is $2 for the shortest trip. Maybe now. It's apparently the most expensive in the world is Nagoya. Imagine that. Though the most expensive train ride is the train from Cusco to Machu Picchu, because it's a very short. If you're going by kilometers, it's a very short distance, and it costs quite a bit. You can actually pay up to like 500 bucks to do the same trip, and it takes like 2 hours. So think about that. Anyway, but in Japan, let me see if I remember. There are buses that are as cheap. Yeah, buses also roughly about $2 in Nagoya area, this area here. I went up to Gifu the other day to give a lecture, and it was $210. It was fixed. Yeah, I think in Nagoya it depends on how far you go. Some of the cities depends on how far you go, but when I went to Gifu, I was surprised that it was flat rate. It's $210 for everything, so that's like $2. Is that expensive? I don't know, for a bus ride. I think Europe's much more expensive. If you guys are from Europe or Australia, Japan is cheap. If you're from the States where you have a car, you might think it's expensive, right? Renting a car in Japan, you can rent a car for like 2 or 3 days. You can get like a deal for like 150 bucks, you know. Sometimes mileage is included, sometimes not. It depends who you go with. There are deals I've seen. There's even a place you can rent per hour, which is pretty cool. Yeah. And like if you want to go grocery shopping, you have to go pick up something big, you go rent a car. Or anyway, whatever. And then when it comes to renting a car though, I've seen, like if you check online, I've seen up to like 1,500 bucks a month. But if you get a deal like for a few months, it can be as little as 300 bucks a month. So it depends on what you're doing. I think Kat McDowell, another YouTuber, I think she told me she paid 300 bucks a month. She rented for 6 months or something like that. I've seen deals like 60 bucks the whole day or 50 bucks the whole day. But again, it depends on is it a luxury car? Is it a mini? Is it a van? What are you getting, you know? Is it 8-person seater? You know, those are much more expensive. So it really depends. Yeah, anyway, trains. Shinkansen can be very expensive. Maybe 10,000 yen to go from Nagoya to Tokyo. Maybe about 15,000-20,000 yen to go from Nagoya to Hiroshima, in that area. Hundreds of bucks, right? Sometimes flying is cheaper. Local trains exist. I can get down to Osaka from here. Shinkansen, it cost me 6,000 bucks, 6,000 yen. You can go for half price, but it takes you 3 times longer, you know, taking local trains, things like that. Hitchhiking is almost non-existent unless you're a blonde woman or a woman. It's really hard. As Regan proved the other day, he tried hitchhiking. I've done it before, but only with a woman, because they'll stop for the woman. You're safe, you know, no one wants to pick up a guy. Unless you're in Texas and he's gay. That's what happened to me. I was picked up by a lot of Mexicans and gay people. Many years ago, okay? No offense to Mexicans or gay people, or gay Mexicans. Actually, one gay Mexican picked me up too. Anyway, let's see, how much, yeah, so traveling, yeah, you can though, if you're coming over and you're on a tourist visa, and you got a passport and all that, I think you can purchase a train pass before you come over, and it's definitely worth the deal. You have to look into the prices, but it's definitely worth it. You can travel, like, I think it's all you can use it as much as you can. All you can use, you know, all you can ride, kind of thing. Number 3, if I'm visiting Japan, how can I call home or access the internet? There are internet cafes all over the place. Well, maybe not all over the place, but they're fairly common. People are always handing out flyers, internet cafe, you know, and some places even offer free internet. I think there's a couple Starbucks I've seen that offer it. Sometimes you have to like ask for a piece of paper for the code. They tell you the code. I think I heard the McDonald's offers it, but I'm not sure. I heard years ago that Osaka was going to offer it all up and down the subways, but I don't know if that ever happened. I'm pretty sure all of Singapore has it, but I know that's not in Japan, so not relevant. But hopefully it's just getting better. But if you have to pay, yeah, you can pay for like a room for like 1,000, maybe 500, 15 bucks an hour or something like that, maybe even cheaper, to access the internet. And they give you a little room and a computer and everything. And they probably have Skype built in or something. But number 4, this is stupid, but I hear Japan has a lot of roaches. And even by the way, a cockroach in Japanese is gokiburi. And so he wants to know. Oh, they even have a gokiburi forecast. You know, they might, but I don't remember it. I'm sure there is. I believe you. I just never cared. I have a fairly new house in a fairly urban part of town, and I haven't seen a cockroach for a year now. Someone told me that the number of cockroaches is on the decline, which doesn't worry me, except that I think it probably has to do something with the number of bees are also on decline, which does worry me. So global warming and all that. So when it comes to cockroaches, the other question is, how bad is it? And centipedes too. Rarely see centipedes. Then it's not like they're in your house. If you're in a fairly urban area and you have a house, you're usually not going to have these problems. But cockroaches are everywhere in the world, so I really wouldn't let it bother you, okay? I don't think I've ever seen a centipede in my house or in my area, though if I've gone out to the woods or something, or maybe jogging near the river, which is quite, away from, in the woods, when there's some nature, yeah, I've seen them. Okay, number 5, where are you from America? From America, I heard you say New York City. Yes, I'm New York City. P.S. I know you live in Nagoya, but you're the only person I thought who was smart enough to answer this up. This is not, and he spelled answer wrong. Okay. When you're talking about intelligence, then you make a mistake spelling. It always makes me laugh. Anyway, that's the answers for John Doe. Thanks for asking, man. Generally speaking, traveling in Japan, there's hiking in Japan is quite popular. There are many campsites. If you're traveling, there are certain designated campsites that you can find even on maps and stuff like that. I recommend you stay in those places. Sometimes they charge, often they don't. They're often really crowded, so it's almost like more of like a music festival atmosphere, as in just, except not everyone's doing drugs and stuff. People come together, they don't really mix too much. I've traveled alone before. And when I stayed alone, I didn't really mix with other people. But when I was out in the daytime, with just traveling around, looking around, people seemed to be very friendly, and I often had conversations with people. But when I was alone, people basically came and camped in groups and stayed off by themselves. Or, I remember this. I was at a campsite once in Hokkaido somewhere. It was really crowded. There was tents everywhere, and I felt kind of alone. Not really lonesome. I just felt, I just didn't feel like a welcome vibe, though everybody seemed to be happy in their own little groups. But that was kind of rare. And I remember this because that was a rare experience for me. Usually I feel like you can, you know why? It was probably because it was already dark. And when it's dark, you know, it's harder to make eye contact and approach a group, or, you know. But I remember like going to Fuji Rock, people were really friendly, people camping there. People offered me beers, hey, you want a beer? You know, to talk to people, get pictures taken with people, you know. People were very friendly. Dancing with girls I don't even know. That was a lot of, actually, yeah, come to think of it, a lot of fun. nothing, you know, that raised eyebrow wasn't anything, nothing naughty, just a lot of really good fun with a lot of friendly people. Yeah, anyway, thanks for watching, thanks for the question, and talk to you guys soon.